And welcome into A to Z Sports. Back in A to Z Sports, Andrew Goldstein and Zach Weiss here with you. We have Colston behind the camera now, and we are visited in studio by the Sports Information Director here at Point Park University, Kevin Taylor. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Always good to be back on A to Z Sports.
We'll just start with the team that's looking the best right now, and that's the men's soccer team, and that they are going to be the #1 seed heading into the KIAC tournament. Just assess what you've seen from them in the KIAC and their chances moving forward in the tournament.
Well, here they are, 9-6 overall, 4-0 KIAC. Can't get any better than undefeated through 4 games. You know, they're on a winning streak here. I think won something like 4 out of their last 5. And we can't say just yet if they're the #1 seed in the KIAC tournament. They would be first among KIAC teams in this tournament, but being that it's an unaffiliated grouping, adding Talladega, Alabama, of the Gulf Coast Conference, the seeding remains to be seen. But I think the only team that would be ahead of Point Park, if that, would be Talladega, but that should be out this week. They should have a good a chance as any to win that KIAC men's soccer tournament.
Could you explain how the playoff scenarios are going to work? I know it's going to be double elimination, I believe, in the KIAC soccer tournament here.
Single elimination.
Single.
6-team tournaments on both sides. I think a tournament that a lot of people are familiar with are the NFL playoff tournaments, and that's how they're going to take form there, with 1 and 2 getting a bye. If you are familiar with the way the NFL does it, 1 and 2 get a bye, 3 host 6, 4 host 5, and winners going to 1 and 2 in the semifinal setup, and the finals being at the highest remaining seed in the 3rd round, the finals there. And you know, on each side, men's or women's soccer, they'll be playing for a national tournament bid.
Just what do you make of, have there been any differences, because I know you've been to a lot of these games, just has there been any real difference that you've seen, not necessarily in comparison to last year's team, but from the start of the season where they weren't able to get it done in terms of the wins and losses?
On the men's soccer side?
Yes.
I think the men's soccer team, with so many new players and so many guys from different countries, it took a good 8, 9, 10 games for them to feel each other out, and there were so many new voices and so many key voices that had graduated, but now they're really starting to click and starting to get things going. I know Andrew's probably seen that, covering the team as closely as he has for the Globe, but they're really coming together slowly but surely. But you know, what better time to be playing your best than right now?
I guess we'll move on to cross country. Not a whole lot to report against for them. Both the men and women were at the Walsh Invitational last weekend, and both teams ended up finishing 3rd out of 3 teams in the 5K, but they kind of used it as a prep for the KIAC Championship, which is going to be this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly right. That was their first competition since October 6th. They were off 3 weeks in CMU, and on the 5K with the men, it's not, you can't really translate over to the 8K that they usually run, but a good speed workout, as Coach Irvin said. And you know, they're right where they need to be as a team and both individually going into the KIAC meet. Same goes for the women's side, and really what they train for all year is about 20 minutes. Their whole season, their whole year goes down to about 20-30 minutes to try to break through the nationals. It's all about one key race.
All right, Kevin, we're having a little technical trouble with that mic, so I'll let you move over here with me here for this, but just in terms of that, what needs to get done in terms of just conditioning for cross country and just staying healthy and trying to do the homework and make sure that they at least the stamina is forward? Because as we were talking through the break, there are a few runners, male and female, that have chances here.
Well, one key thing about this year is that they've been able to stay away from the injury bug, something that hit them last year. But you know, you got to benchmark throughout the season, throughout the year, and like I said, all working towards that conference meet. And here we have Dylan Grun, an individual on the men's side, who should have a tremendous chance, that is, to break through to the national tournament, or the national meet, that is. Coach Irvin says anything in the low 28s would probably break through individually, and he's been running in the 26-minute range for an 8K at his best this year. And on the women's side, they have a couple individuals who Coach Irvin says anything in the 21-minute range for a 5K on the women's side and under should have a decent chance of breaking through to the national stage. And Hannah Jaraskova and Lindsay Dill have been sub-21 all year. And just to fill you in, the way the cross-country meet works is the entire team intact. The team champion moves on to nationals, the KIAC champion, and any individuals who finish high enough, not on the team champion, also move on.
The volleyball team is in second place in the KIAC right now. Their match tomorrow against Shippensburg was canceled due to the inclement weather with Hurricane Sandy coming this way. So going into the KIAC tournament, which is going to be at Cincinnati Christian November 9th and 10th, how do things look like they're shaping up seeding-wise?
Well, kind of like what we said for cross-country and a little bit with the soccer, it all comes down to playing your best volleyball over a 24, 36-hour period there, November 9th, 10th. And Point Park has a great record, 26-8, second in the KIAC at 7-1. 2 more matches coming up. They have a chance to finish 9-1 if they beat Cincinnati Christian Alice Lloyd this Saturday. But 9-1 looks really good regular season, but whenever you get in that tournament setting, single elimination, one and done, it's a whole different animal. Even if you're playing the lower teams in the KIAC volleyball, they do invite all 11 teams to the KIAC tournament. It's a big bracket. Point Park will get a bye, and it would take 3 wins for Point Park to take home the KIAC title, and with that would be a national tournament bid, something they had last year as also a conference champion. They're eyeing that, but IU Southeast, that's the team that you're probably going to need to get through them. Not that IU Southeast or Point Park, that matter, are guaranteed to the finals, but they're probably going to meet somewhere along the way, and the loser of that could very well be left out of the national tournament. There's a chance of some at-larges, as we might see tomorrow if some top 25 poll maybe finally swings Point Park's way. That might help them get an at-large.
Just what do you make of the milestones that this volleyball team has attracted? Their first foreign recruit in Livia Calori, 1,000 kills, 1,000 digs for Lindsay Oberacker, the second person ever in Pioneer history to do that, and Mike Bruno getting his 300th victory overall.
Yeah, the accolades are well deserved, and those ladies, whether it's front row, back row, or coaches or whatnot, they've accomplished just about everything you can individually, and they got a nice taste of success as a team last year. But I think it's time for them to be a little bit greedy here as seniors. They had a great junior year, and they got to cap it off with another strong showing, and I think they have it in them to get past the November 9th, 10th, but it's just a matter of coming together and playing the way they know how, and they certainly have all the tools with all the accolades that you mentioned.
Over to the men's basketball side, the regular season is beginning this week, but they had their scrimmage on one of their scrimmages on October 26th against Baldwin Wallace. And how did that scrimmage go?
Well, they played a total of 3 periods. They played 20 minutes, and then they played a second 20, and then they actually put 15 on the clock and played a third session with a lot of the backups. But over the 40-minute session, Point Park put up a lot of points, but came up short 99-96, if you're keeping track of that one, and looked really great. The first 20 minutes, they put up 51 points in only a half a basketball, which is kind of par for the course for them. They really got the offense going. Got a little sloppy in the second 20, which is why they came up short by 3 in the final result. But they have a lot of guys who can put the ball in the basket, which plays perfectly into Coach Rager's system. Coach Rager, 24th year at the job, and they led the country in scoring last year. Have a lot of those players back who filled it up from the outside, and they've added to it both on the guard position and in the post.
And then from the women's side, I know that 8 players played in their scrimmage. Coach Granick told me personally that he was excited by the outcome, facing a tough team, but just what do they need to do with the depth that they have and trying to improve on that offense to make it to back-to-back national tournaments?
Yeah, Coach Grenick and I were talking early today, and like you said, he was pleased with some of the stuff that came out of the scrimmage. And what he feels is that yes, they only had one double-digit score last year, and but they got it done with the defense they played. But he feels that some of the players that were on the bench more so last year because they were younger, or some of the more experienced players were out there. These players are going to be playing a more expanded role, like a Haley Sauer, like Teresa Savitsky, breaking in the starting lineup. You know, they have some better offensive capabilities than some of the players that were on the floor last year for the majority. I mean, those players, not to take anything away, your Kristen Beatties, your Kristen Vezzolinis, they're just great defensively, but I think some of these other players have some more to offer offensively.
Okay, well, we're up against the break, unfortunately. So, as always, Kevin, thanks for coming on the show. We look forward to having you come on again as soon as you can.
Thanks for having me, guys, and we'll look forward to listening all year long.
Point Park Sports. Follow them at Point Park Sports on Twitter and www.pointpark.edu/athletics. But coming up next is football picks, and we have some standings changes. So keep it here. You're listening to A to Z Sports on 670 AM WPPJ Radio.